That's right.
You're saying on your Bible perspective, Jesus has been crucified. Okay.
Yes, Jesus was
I'm a
crucified.
Muslim. I don't believe in the New Testament.
Okay,
or Old Testament.
according-
I believe on the Injil that came to Jesus.
Would it be worthy of Allah to deceive people?
Sorry?
Is it worthy of Allah to deceive people?
Deceive.
To lie to people? Would Allah lie to people? Right. Was Jesus Christ crucified, or did Allah make it look like someone else was crucified who looked like Jesus?
Someone look like Jesus.
And did people believe that Jesus Christ was crucified because Allah made it look that way?
I think so.
Yeah, you think so? If I made it look that one thing was true when actually something else was true, is that a lie?
Yeah.
Then there you go, Allah lied.
What?
Let's go through it again. Yeah? You're a nice guy, right? Be gentle.
We like it. We like
Yeah,
it.
we like it,
I
right?
have a good ethics, but I'm not coming to
Okay,
don't
so
worry.
listen.
I'm just telling you his perspective
Listen.
so I can give my experience.
Would Allah lie to people?
No.
What is a lie?
Lie when you share fake news.
Yeah, when you share
facts.
fake news, fake facts.
Yeah.
Did Allah convince people that Jesus Christ was crucified
Yeah.
by making someone else look like Jesus?
Exactly. Yeah.
But when in truth Jesus wasn't crucified.
No.
Right.
We understand that before the night before.
So Allah made people believe something that was true that was false. Is that correct?
It's true that was false.
Yeah, he made people believe Jesus was crucified when it wasn't. So he made some people believe something false, Jesus was crucified, when the truth was he wasn't. So did Allah make people believe something that was true that was not true?
It's not the truth because
Exactly, it was not true. And did Allah make that happen? Yeah, so Allah lied. Yes. Think about it. Now tell me, according to hadith science, according to the science of hadith, if someone in the hadith chain is a known liar, can you trust them? No.
Wow.
Is the Qur'an, according to the Qur'an, described as a hadith? Yeah, do you know that the Qur'an describes itself as a hadith?
No.
Right, it does.
The word of God.
It describes itself as a hadith, a report.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the Qur'an says about the Qur'an.
Yeah.
Allah says in the Qur'an that what hadith will you have apart from this?
So where's that says?
Okay, can I borrow someone's phone?
In Islamic theology, there is an important concept that is often overlooked, yet it has a significant impact on how one understands the nature of Allah. The Qur'an uses the term makr, an Arabic word that consistently means hidden deception, manipulative planning, or a strategy that involves misleading. This word is applied to Allah in several passages, including the well-known verse in Surah Ali Imran 354, where it is said that humans practiced deception, and Allah responded with his own deception. The Qur'an then concludes by calling Allah the best of the makirun. Linguistically, this cannot be sanitized. The word means exactly what it means. One who performs makr is someone engaged in covert manipulation. This idea is reinforced again in Surah Ar-Ra'd 1342, where human makr is directly compared to the makr of Allah, but Allah's version is stronger and more effective. In other words, the Qur'an portrays Allah as the one who overcomes human deception through his own form of deception. Classical commentators such as Ibn Kathir and Al-Tabari even interpret Allah's makr positively within the Islamic framework. Allah uses deception to overpower his enemies. Yet from a moral theological point of view, this still means that an act fundamentally rooted in manipulation is considered part of divine activity. From this point emerges a much larger theological problem. If Allah can use deception as a tool, then there is no guarantee that what appears to be true on the surface is actually true in reality. This becomes especially evident in the doctrine of substitution, tashbah, in Surah An-Nisa 4, verse 157. According to Islam, Jesus was not crucified. Instead, Allah made someone else resemble him so closely that people truly believed they were witnessing the crucifixion of Jesus. In other words, the entire world's misunderstanding of a central historical event occurred because Allah created a false visual impression. Within the Qur'an's own logic, this large-scale deception was not the fault of human beings, but the direct result of Allah's action. Major hadiths reinforce this picture. In Sahih Muslim 182, there is a narrative about the Day of Judgment in which Allah comes to humanity in a different form, one they do not recognize as their Lord. The people reject this figure, and only after Allah appears again in a form they recognize do they accept him. This is not presented as a metaphor, The hadith describes Allah revealing a false identity first, then correcting it with the true one. In Islamic literature, this act is called ta'kil, creating a perception that does not match reality. Although scholars explain that Allah does this to test humanity, the context remains the same. Allah is shown giving visual information that leads people to a mistaken conclusion.
وقولهم إنا قتلنا عيسى ابن مريم. They say that we have killed the Messiah Jesus.
Why did they say that? Why did they say that?
Because Jewish and all those people were there.
Yep.
They believe they have been crucified.
Why did they believe he'd been crucified? Why did they believe he had... Wait. Why did they believe he had been
It
crucified?
doesn't say at that time.
Read.
It doesn't say at that time. Okay.
What do we read?
وما قتلوه وما صلبوه. According to Allah, they haven't killed him or crucified him. You can son, and they did not kill him, nor they did crucify him.
Yeah,
Right.
and then what does it
But
say?
here,
Keep reading.
it
What does it
doesn't
say next?
Next bit, straight away.
ولكن شبه لهم. He made to a vessel.
Exactly. So Allah made it to seem like that.
Yeah.
It says Jesus did not die on the cross, but Allah made it seem like he did die on the cross. That's what that verse says.
So
Yeah, I
Allah,
know.
Allah lied 2,000 years ago. Oh, you are getting involved, right? Let's talk to him. You are getting involved. We are getting involved.
Talk to me. I know
You're
that
getting
you like to talk to me,
involved.
but I don't like to talk to you.
So
you're aggressive.
no. You wanted to jump in. You wanted to jump in. You want to heckle from the sidelines. You want to heckle, but you don't want to debate. If you want to debate. But if you're just getting a heckle, stand over there.
Hit and run.
The truth is, as a Muslim, I believe that person who Allah made a vessel.
Yeah.
I believe that person has been crucified, not Jesus. What the truth in here? What's the lie?
So the lie is, here's the lie, right? Let's stand over this way a bit. Let's stand over this way. Come over here. You put your trust in the information that I gave you, right? You put your trust in the information that I gave you, and you acted on that information, but it was wrong because I misled you. That's a lie. That is exactly what Muhammad did. The reason why Christians believe that Jesus Christ was crucified, if the Qur'an is true, is because Allah made it look that way. Yes, there you go. So that's a lie.
So why is
Christians in the first century believe that if the Qur'an is true, Christians in the first century believe that Christ was crucified because Allah convinced them that they were being crucified. And that's a lie.
Yeah, but there's the Quran. It tells you he made a vessel. Someone
Exactly.
looked like him.
Thank you. Exactly. So that's the lie.
That's the lie.
The lie is he made something that was false look to be true. That's a lie. Now my point to you is, it wasn't until the time of Muhammad that the real truth came out. It wasn't until the time of Muhammad that the truth came out, where Allah said, no, you didn't crucify the Messiah. You say you did, but you didn't. I only made it look that way.
Yeah.
And that was in the 7th century. So Allah deceived the entire world for 7
The one who
centuries.
have been crucified is false.
Right?
I believe my friend can realize.
But my point to you is, if Allah was willing to lie to the Christians, how do you know he's not lying to you now? If Allah was willing to lie to the Christians in the first
How do you
century,
know Allah
how do you
wanted-
know he's not lying to you now?
How do you know Allah wanted to lie to you?
Because he admits that he wanted to lie. He says he wanted to lie. He says he lied.
Yeah, but that's according to your faith. According to your faith, that Jesus has been crucified, which is not true. According to your faith.
But if your religion is true, Omar, if we pretend for a minute that we both agree that your religion is the truth, so let's pretend we're both Muslim.
Yeah.
That means that what we're saying is that in the first century, 2,000 years ago, Allah made it look like something happened that didn't happen. And then for 7 centuries, 700 years, people said, we crucified Jesus. And they said it because Allah made it look that way.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
so
then-
that's a lie.
What do you mean? That lie.
How is that not a lie? How is that not a lie?
You're expecting me now
How is that not a lie?
To believe people, and then believe you're the one who believe Jesus was crucified, not Allah. Not Allah.
No, Allah deceived people to think that they had crucified Jesus. Allah deceived people to make them think that they had crucified Jesus.
Yeah. Which is right.
So there you go. So if I'm right, then Allah is a liar. Now, according to Hadith science, can you trust a liar? Can you no? And Allah is the one that gives the report of the crucifixion.
I can't even understand what they're lying here, bro. As a Muslim, I believe that person can be crucified, not Jesus.
Okay, I think, brother, we can't progress this argument any further because it seems to me that every point that I make that demonstrates that this is a lie, you agree is true, but then you deny the conclusion.
In classical Islamic theology, the term mocker appears repeatedly throughout the Qur'an and the major works of tafsir. Etymologically, this pre-Islamic Arabic word refers to cunning tactics, hidden strategies, or acts of deception used in intertribal conflict. Authoritative lexicons, such as Lisan al-Arab, Taj al-Arus, and Lane's lexicon, consistently define mocker as intentional deception. The Qur'an adopts this term and applies it to Allah, particularly in the context of the tension between Muhammad and his opponents. The most well-known example is Qur'an 3:54, which states that people practiced makr and Allah responded with his own makr, concluding that Allah is the best of the makirin. Linguistically, the term al-makirin clearly denotes an active agent, one who performs makr, not simply a wise planner. Classical exegetes such as Ibn Kathir, al-Tabari, and al-Qurtubi fully acknowledge the element of strategic deception in this verse. They interpret Allah's makr as a form of divine strategy that overturns human deception with a superior form of deception. The theological implications extend far beyond that verse. If Allah uses makr as an instrument, then Islamic theology accepts that Allah may create perceptions or situations that are not fully transparent to human beings. This becomes unmistakably clear in the doctrine of tashbah, the teaching that Jesus was not crucified, but that Allah made someone else resemble him so that it appeared as though Jesus was crucified. Qur'an 4:157. Early exegetes, such as Mujahid, Ibn Abbas, and Ibn Ishaq, and later the mature tafsir of Ibn Kathir, explicitly state that Allah produced a false visual impression, causing all eyewitnesses to believe an event that did not actually take place. In contrast, within the Jewish-Christian tradition, the nature of God is built upon the foundation of absolute truthfulness. The Old Testament describes God as the God of truth, and the New Testament reinforces this by declaring that God cannot lie and that it is impossible for God to lie. When Jesus speaks about falsehood, he assigns it entirely to Satan, calling him the father of lies. Deception, or the creation of false impressions, is therefore completely incompatible with the divine nature in Christian theology. This comparison creates a striking theological contrast. If, in Christian thought, God is truth itself, then in Islamic theology, God may utilize deception to accomplish his purposes. This tension reaches its peak in the question of the crucifixion. If the entire world misunderstood the death of Jesus because Allah made someone else appear in his place, then the mistake doesn't come from humanity at all. It comes from a deliberate act of God. This raises the natural apologetic question. How can the ultimate source of truth be portrayed as creating a false perception surrounding one of the most important events in human religious history?